Our runner-up for outstanding academic achievement is Alice Bailey from the College of West Anglia. She's a student whose tutors constantly praised her determination, her intellectual curiosity and exceptional commitment throughout her Access to HE diploma in veterinary science. Balancing full-time study with significant personal responsibilities, she remained resilient, focused and fully engaged, often contributing thoughtful insights and supporting her peers. Alice has now progressed to study veterinary medicine at the University of Bristol. Reflecting her strength, perseverance and readiness for the next stage of her journey, let's now hear from DJ Latchman, who nominated Alice, and of course Alice on how she feels at being a runner-up.
From the get-go, Alice started about 5 weeks after the other students. Always a very studious student, someone that already had a very keen eye for research, for analysis, for understanding the content that often is quite complex. But something that I noticed she really improved on was her resilience and demonstrated a phenomenal improvement, and the final achievements just say it all. I think that she deserves this this award completely. What she's done is absolutely impressive, and I am extremely happy that she got that additional recognition. Alice, I think you should be absolutely proud of yourself, of what you've been able to do, and remember us when you become a very famous and successful vet.
The access to higher education, the veterinary sciences. I'd been working as hopping between desk jobs in different sort of fields, and I thought back to when I was in school and I wanted to do vet work. Did some work experience, found it quite fun, and then I got a job as an assistant, just a vet care assistant. And I did a bit more research in my free time about how to get to each of those roles, and what was sort of required to get into that sort of education, what you can do with the qualification afterwards. Then I found the course that the CWA have. I'm a mature student, 26, so it was more trying to get back into education after the break type thing. Just seeing that I can do it, it's possible, I can do it, it's fun. And also obviously the nomination as well, it's getting the email from DJ asking for the permission was just looked at the phone oh my gosh. That made it much more rewarding as well, seeing I've put the effort in and it's shown type thing, not only just to me but to tutors and things as well. It's just seeing again how it's been recognized by other people. It makes you feel much better about much more proud to have done the work that you've done. It's really good. I had some struggles while I was doing the year that I was studying, and DJ and the others, Wenshi and Colette, they were all really supportive with it. Any sort of tips welfare wise, brilliant. Also made some friends, colleagues in the class. They were really good. I still speak to some of them. It's just the level of support that you get really helps. There's a personal professional but personal type thing, that they care. It's not just part of their job type thing. They want to help, they want to get you to where you need to be, and it's just really it's a nice feeling to have. And again, for DJ to nominate me for this, I really appreciate it. And yeah.
Winner for outstanding academic achievement is David Langley from Nottingham College, a student whose tutors constantly praised his exceptional commitment, capability and professionalism throughout the Access to HE Science Life Science pathway. David approached his studies with outstanding focus and motivation. He was always well prepared, highly organised, and demonstrated an understanding that regularly went beyond distinction level. Based on the strength of this feedback and his consistently high performance, we are delighted to recognise David as this year's winner of the Outstanding Academic Achievement Award.
David comes across as a very proactive student, that David was eager to learn, that he would ask questions, that he would take time to go to the library and do some researches. He was inspired, so to speak, with the previous lessons. And so when he came to the next lesson, he took those on board and then wanted to learn more. And he has grown confidence with that. We're proud, as well as we are honored to have one of our students who was excellent not only in his studies but also in engaging with the students, because apart from the academic side of things in the Access, David was also one of the student representatives who was one of those students that the external moderator has met, as well as representing the group in the learner voice in college, as well as the student voice in CAVA. Congratulations on your award. You make us feel proud of your achievement, and you deserve it. You have been an excellent student in terms of your knowledge and understanding of the sciences. And at the same time, you as a person, you as a student representative, making time, going out of your way to help others as well understand the discipline of the course. You have realized that all of you in that group come from various walks of life, and you provided that kind of support. So keep up the good work, David, and congratulations.
I always knew it was going to be a science that I wanted to study. It was the one thing I was good at school, but I haven't studied it in literally 20 years now. So I did GCSEs and then nothing for 20 years. I studied life sciences access, so that covers chemistry, biology, and a bit of maths. I basically decided I wanted to do a degree. That was my sort of goal. And when I did my A-levels, I did a BTEC in music technology, so it wasn't particularly relevant to any subject I wanted to do. So I knew I'd have to do an access course, which sort of opened up all the possibilities, really. One of the reasons I ended up going back to education in the first place is that, I'm 37 now, so I was sort of later in my life, and honestly, I was having a really horrible time with my mental health. I've had quite a long, difficult journey with that in my, late 20s, early 30s. And it sort of made me feel like I couldn't do anything. My whole life sort of ground to a halt, and I felt sort of incapable for quite a long time. And as I'm sure you'd imagine, that can have a pretty devastating impact on, your sense of self and what you're capable of. And then just everything stems from that, doesn't it? In terms of, ability to cope and happiness and living a life and all that. And really, there were lots of steps towards it, but the biggest difference was starting back to education. And honestly, the difference just starting towards it, just starting on the goal of having a goal and engaging with it every day has literally changed the way that I feel every day. And is, I'm so hesitant whenever I'm talking about mental health. I'm so hesitant to talk about things like, cures or, something that solves it, because mental health is more complicated than that and more ongoing. But I've never experienced anything that's more like a cure for my depression than studying, which is, I'm sure, not the case for lots of people, but honestly just completely transformed my sense of what I'm capable of and my general sense of self, my identity, so much. That's a rich tapestry that I could talk about for hours, which I obviously won't, because that's far too much. But no, I really think that if I'm being honest with myself, that's the most rewarding part, is discovering that I can actually do this and apparently do very well, which is, it's sort of meant everything to me, really. Honestly, it's sort of saved me, It's been the difference between me being okay and not, to be quite frank. It's been a huge lift in my confidence and a reminder of how far I've come and what I can achieve, being quite honestly quite humbled by being recognised in this way, and that's meant a huge amount to me now in terms of the process of navigating to to this new part of my educational journey, which is only going to get more difficult. In terms of my plans so far, I mean, really the thing that drew me towards this journey in education, and I'm sure you might be able to tell from some of the answers I've given already, but it's more the process and the journey that means the most to me now. So my interest is in learning more. That's my interest. I really want to to continue to learn, and I do find that one of the things I've learned, a life lesson anyway, is that as soon as you start to feel like you can maybe stop learning, or you can sort of take it easy, that's when things get kind of difficult, really. And I think that's when it makes a difference. So my goal is to find a way to continue to be engaged with learning. I realize something that's not really been touched on that I think is something that means a lot to me is really emphasizing just how different my experience of before the Access course and after the Access course was. It is honestly the most. I mean, I always knew that Access was available, and it was a good scheme, and it was designed to take people from, maybe not being in education to back to education, and specifically to degree level. But going through it, I've really, really been sort of struck and humbled by just how much difference it can make, and how grateful I am for the opportunity. If there's any sort of sense that maybe people aren't aware of Access and how useful it is, I would love to sing its praises and say just how transformative and incredible it can be. And of course that speaks to the staff and my students as well, who without those, I mean, this really has, I've relied on lots of people throughout this whole process, and one of my strengths, I think, is recognizing when I need help and having that help available in the form of the tutors and even fellow students. I can't thank them enough.
Moving on to outstanding commitment to study, our runner-up for this is Zoe Stevenson from City College, Plymouth, a truly inspiring student whose positivity, resilience and determination shone through the Access to HE programme. At just 18, Zoe embraced every lesson with genuine enthusiasm and a warm, uplifting presence. Despite the challenges she navigated due to her physical disability, her tutors described her as somebody who never allowed barriers to define her. Even during periods of ill health, Zoe showed extraordinary commitment, working tirelessly to catch up and ultimately achieving her diploma through sheer perseverance. She embodied the life-changing power of learning and overcame challenges with grace, and inspired her peers and tutors with her positivity.
Just such a great student last year. She's had quite a lot to overcome, and she was just an absolute delight to teach. So we met her at an open day, and she was really desperate to try and study with us and do some more education. She hadn't done any for a little while, but because of her disability, I think she found it difficult to find some places that could accommodate her and support her effectively. So we were just really pleased that we were able to do that for her. And, in lessons, she was always so cheerful, so positive. She mingled really well with the others, although she has a learning support assistant with her. She worked well in groups, and she was just always trying really hard. So sometimes it could take her a little while to communicate the point that she wanted to make, but she never kind of let that hold her back. So I was really proud of what she achieved in the year, and I thought that she was really quite inspirational for the other students in the class. Academically, she developed a lot. So when she first came in, she hadn't done much in the way of writing essays and like referencing, that kind of thing. She did a course that was social science, so that was psychology, sociology and law, and I taught her the law. And it wasn't something that she'd studied before, but she really got into it. And I remember one session where we did a mock court thing, and usually those are quite popular, but a lot of the class just didn't really want to take very active roles. Zoe was the first person to volunteer to be the prosecutor, and she loved every second of it. And she was really good as well, like the questions that she was coming up with for the witnesses. So it was really nice to see her come out of her shell a bit, really, speak up in front of others, and just kind of realize that she had the skills that she needed to progress really into university. She worked so hard, and she had a lot to overcome. A lot of our Access students do, but I think Zoe had a lot of other things as well that she had to overcome to succeed in her access course. So I was really pleased that she got recognised for that. Congratulations, Zoe, you really earned it. And I hope that this gives you the confidence that you need to keep going, because you really are a fantastic student and you can achieve anything.
I am genuinely honoured to have been awarded runner-up for the CAVA Award. Beginning the Access to HE social science course was an important step for me after leaving my A-levels due to my needs not being supported. Returning to education felt uncertain at first, but this course quickly became something I loved. I found real excitement in learning again, especially in law, which sparked a strong and ongoing interest in understanding the legal system and how it shapes the world around us. This award holds deep personal significance. It reflects not just my academic effort, but the resilience and determination it took to continue studying while managing my own health and personal challenges. There were times where things felt overwhelming, yet I remained committed to my goal of completing the course. I'm incredibly grateful to my tutors, support staff, friends and family whose belief in me helped me to believe in myself. Being nominated made me feel valued, but becoming runner-up is something I am truly proud of. It has strengthened my confidence and reminded me of what I am capable of achieving. I will carry this recognition with me as I continue into the next stage of my education, and I'm excited to move forward knowing how far I have already come.
For our final student award, the winner of Outstanding Commitment to Study is Amy Bartlett from Nottingham Trent University at Brackenhurst. Amy is a truly exceptional student whose courage, resilience and unwavering dedication has inspired everyone around her. Throughout her Access to HE course, Amy faced extraordinary personal challenges, yet she remained deeply committed to her education, maintaining remarkable attendance and managing her workload with extraordinary determination. Academically, she excelled, achieving distinctions across all graded modules, while also offering kindness, support and encouragement to her peers. Amy truly embodies the heart of this award, and we are honoured to recognise her outstanding commitment.
Amy faced daily medical, physical, emotional challenges that no young person should ever have to go through, but she didn't allow them challenges to limit her kind of ambitions and her drive. She refused to settle for work that was mediocre, and she constantly pushed herself outside of her comfort zone, preparing for quite a challenging industry. She was strong, but like in a quiet way. So she stood out that she consistently met challenges and she never asked for any recognition or sympathy, which I think is in itself why she's so deserving of this award. Amy developed in her willingness to take on new experiences. So that might be driving a tractor for the first time, engaging in group work in the classroom. She showed a growing belief in herself. She approached learning with a genuine sense of purpose, so not only to feel like what was achieving a grade or ticking a box, she simply just valued education as something worthwhile. Studying wasn't just like a means to an end, so it was more like a privilege and a way to probably reclaim a bit of normality for Amy after everything that she'd been through. She reminded us that education is just sometimes about curiosity and the act of learning, especially for anyone who's ever had that kind of taken away from them. Sometimes we feel like we're chasing grades and ticking a box, but Amy just enjoyed and valued education for education's sake. Her hard work, commitment feels seen and celebrated. Obviously really, really proud, not just as a lecturer, but I've had the privilege of witnessing her journey on the Access course, even just for 1 year. And obviously at busy times of an academic year, when you learn that your student's a winner, it's a nice reminder of why we do what we do in education, to support and uplift students, especially students like Amy. Amy, never underestimate the impact you've had on other people. You've inspired your peers, your tutors, and now hopefully a wider community. This award is a reflection of your refusal to give up. You've shown that strength isn't about being invincible, It's more about that slow and steady persistence that you've shown this year, and excellence, because your work has been absolutely excellent, is possible in the face of adversity. She's achieved so much with us this year, and we really can't wait to see what else is to come on her degree.
I'm absolutely delighted and proud to have been selected as the winner of CAVA Outstanding Commitment to Study Award, particularly given the challenges I have faced in returning to full-time education. In summary, I was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia at the age of 12, and I suffered several relapses since then. As a result, the majority of my teenage years were spent in hospital undergoing chemotherapy and other intensive cancer treatments, and ultimately 2 stem cell transplants. This and the impact of COVID epidemic dramatically impacted my ability to attend school. I had to undertake much of the syllabus in hospital or at home independently, often feeling totally exhausted after treatment. I was extremely proud, therefore, to attain 8 GCSEs, the majority at level 9, and A-star results in my A-levels. The Access to Higher Education land-based animal science course at NTU Brackenhurst College gave me an opportunity to undertake a course which combined my love of science with my interest in the study of animals. It also helped me regain my confidence and overcome my anxiety of returning to an education environment and engaging with people my own age again. Whilst attending the Access course, I was still required to attend regular hospital appointments, often involving lots of travel. These appointments affected my energy levels and the available time I had to undertake assignments or work set. My cancer treatment has also affected my bones and my mobility generally. I feel a great sense of achievement that despite my reduced energy levels and mobility challenges, I still got involved with all the practicals on the Access course, from working with horses and reptiles to driving tractors. I was also so pleased to graduate with distinctions in all of the graded modules on the Access course. The Access course was the perfect springboard for me to build the confidence I needed to then go on to study a zoology degree at university. I would like to thank my personal tutor, Beth Drury, for all of her support during the course and for nominating me for this award. Without her support, I really would have struggled to overcome the challenges I faced in returning to full-time education.
This year also marks an exciting development. We launched a brand new award, our first ever category, in which students could nominate an inspirational tutor. We were thrilled to receive over 60 nominations, far exceeding our expectations. It was truly heartwarming to read the impact that tutors are having on their learners, and we are grateful to every student who took the time to share their experience. First, our runner-up for Inspirational Tutor Award is Judy Fisher from Grantham College. Her students consistently described her as exceptional in her care, professionalism, and unwavering commitment to their success. Many shared that returning to education felt daunting and overwhelming, yet from the moment they entered her classroom, she made them feel welcome, reassured, and confident that they had made the right choice. Her calm presence, expertise, and approachable manner created a supportive environment where every student felt seen and valued. Students highlighted the way she went above and beyond her formal responsibilities, checking in with the entire cohort each week, offering personalised advice, signposting relevant support, and taking the time to listen when life became complicated. Her dedication has a transformative impact, supporting a learner through a child's surgery, helping another navigate mental health challenges, and adapting deadline plans with empathy and care to ensure every student had the chance to succeed. Academically, her guidance was described as life-changing, helping learners develop strong study skills, building confidence, and achieve distinction grades they never believed were possible. Several students said they would not be progressing to university today without Judy's belief in them. Her compassion, consistency, and genuine commitment to student well-being makes her a truly inspirational educator and a very worthy runner-up for this award. Now let's hear from Judy directly about what this means to her.
I teach the English units on the Humanities and Social Science diploma, and I teach the Academic Study Skills units on all the diplomas. And so I think I get the best of both worlds because I'm teaching a subject specialism and a core element of all the Access diplomas. For English, I love the flexibility to choose units that give a real range and balance of language and literature. So that means that we can keep the subject fresh and relevant and interesting for students who don't necessarily want to be English specialists, as well as for those who do. So for instance, we study real life language use, like how language changes over time or how children acquire language. And we have some creative elements, and we study literature, which has really relatable themes. And so we have really lively discussions in class, and that's great. I enjoy teaching study skills because the content of the course is so key to everything that the students are going to do, not just on Access, but in their higher education. And again, we have flexibility to deliver content that really meets students' needs and giving one-to-one support so students can achieve their potential. I see study skills as like providing a toolkit that students are going to use throughout their academic journey. I enjoy getting to know them. I enjoy the variety of their life experiences and the different approaches they bring to learning. And that comes with all sorts of challenges, but I enjoy those challenges, and I enjoy having to think on my feet to respond to what they need, whether that's academically or broader in some way. I have met so many inspirational tutors over the years, from sort of being in a wide variety of colleges with CAVA and conferences and things. So to be chosen as one of them is amazing. It's a real honour. Access students have in common is that they aspire to succeed, but they don't always find it easy or straightforward because life often usually gets in the way. So I'm inspired by the students and by their aspiration and their resilience. And that makes me determined to support them and get them through to achieve their diplomas and to get the best grades they can. And to give them opportunities and options that they didn't have before they started Access. And keeping in touch with former students and seeing them complete their degrees and go on to develop great careers is really motivating too. That's motivating for me, and it's motivating for each cohort or generation of Access students that follow on, that start their journeys too. Every teacher's dream is to be thought of as inspirational by someone, so thank you.
Finally, our winner for the Inspirational Tutor Award is Gemma Hutchins from City College, Plymouth. Her students described her as life-changing in her impact, and whose dedication to their growth goes far beyond the classroom. From the very beginning, she took the time to understand each learner's goals, their university ambitions, their long-term career hopes, and the personal challenges that they carried with them. Students said this care shaped everything that she did. Her feedback, her guidance, and the way she consistently aligned their targets to help them reach their aspirations. Her students spoke repeatedly about the depth of her support. She was always available, even outside of normal hours. She'd offer reassurance, direction, and constructive feedback that built confidence rather than undermined it. Many shared that they would not have completed the course without her compassion and belief in them, especially during some of the most difficult moments of their personal lives. Beyond academic support, she created a vibrant, engaging learning environment. Students recalled creative lessons, guest speakers, walks, VR experiences, and her infectious enthusiasm that made the subject come alive. Her passion motivated students through self-doubt, turning to education after long breaks, and navigating complex personal circumstances. Truly, her students described her as someone who's changed their futures. Her dedication, empathy and commitment to empowering others makes her an outstanding and inspirational tutor, and a thoroughly deserving winner of this award. Now let's hear from Gemma on how she feels to be recognised in this way.
I teach access to counselling, psychology and education studies, and I am also a tutor and a programme manager for the courses. What I love most probably is in two parts actually, because the first part is teaching and being in the classroom with students when they have that kind of light bulb moment and realise something, really realise they've learned something that's really, really amazing, very rewarding. But we also have lots of online students who have to really dig deep, and they're working on their own, which can be pretty isolating. So I really like being able to support them and keep them going when it gets tough as well. I love when a group of students really gel and being part of that kind of little family of adults for a year whilst they're learning and developing. I like seeing how they grow from not very confident at the beginning of the year, and are they really sure that they can do this? If they made a mistake, who do they think they are? To being aspirational and making aspirational choices, and hopefully getting into those and feeling like they're ready and that they can do that. Access isn't easy. It's a really, really hard year, and they really have to dig deep under all sorts of circumstances, and being able to, you know, see those adults rise to the challenge and really dig in, that's inspirational. And also my colleagues are really inspirational. You know, they turn up every day and step up for all of those students, and it's always amazing to see. Thanks very much, and I just hope they're doing really, really well, and that they stay in touch with us and let us know how they're doing too. Yeah, it's really rewarding actually. It's lovely to think that students have thought of me at the end of the course, and that they think that I'm an inspiration. That's amazing. That's what it's all about, isn't it, being a teacher? And I think they're inspiring too.